Good morning. Are you ready to race? That is the question. Are you ready to race? I got a bit too much sun yesterday. Got a little bit too much sun. But the sun is very good for the test levels because you need vitamin D in order to create test. So in order for your test levels, a little bit of sun is very important. Now, on the subject of test levels, I want to talk about this because I'm getting a glow up. You know what I mean? My body's changing quite fast because I have empirical knowledge, and now that I've switched from concentrating on the philosophy and developing my mind to a point, I am now focusing on the body. And because, as I say, I have empirical knowledge, the body is changing quite fast. I'm teaching this in my group, Change Your Body. But what we're going to have shortly is the boys in the cheap seats, and they're going on, but like the Liver King, and what they do with Mike O'Hearn, all the begrudgers, all the wankers, all the wasters who wouldn't know one end of a dumbbell from the other. Oh, steroids, he's on steroids, oh, that's easy, he's on steroids and everything else. As I say, they wouldn't know one end of a dumbbell from another. They wouldn't know anything about steroids, they know nothing about fuck all. But yet they want to begrudge and pint and say, oh, steroids. So take them. I used to have this down through the years. Lads used to say, oh, steroids, miracle grow. They think that you take a couple of shots of juice and you go to bed and you get up like a brick shit house. But I'm happy to leave them with that idea. But I want to talk about test levels because in order to avoid being like a simp, like the Liver King, and coming out apologising, oh, I'm apologising for deluding everything else. As I said before, have no wish to delude anybody. I'd like to be fully transparent. So we'll talk about test. I take one shot of this a week. It's a testosterone blend. I buy it over the counter here in Bulgaria. So it's pharma grade, which is quite good because a lot of steroids is made in back kitchens and shit like that, you know what I mean? You wouldn't know what shit would be in it. Whatever they put on the label, people are there, oh, it's this and it's that, you know what I mean? You don't know what the fuck is in it because it's made in a fucking back kitchen somewhere. And I'm not really a man, well, I won't say I'm not really a man for taking stuff that was made in back kitchens, because at one point I used to make my own. in my kitchen. At one point I used to make my own in my kitchen. And it was fucking top stuff. I'll tell you that, it was fucking top stuff. But right now we're not in a position to do that. But this is excellent. Hashtag not sponsored. There's a misconception when it comes to steroids, and throughout the years, as I say, I have 25 years bodybuilding, and people tend to do like they do with everything else, oh, a little works great, so more must work even better, And then it becomes like every other drug and like every other thing, as Axl Rose said, I used to do a little, but a little wouldn't do, so a little got more and more. Just kept on trying to get a little better than before. Now, that's how addictions start, and that's how you end up in a shit show of trouble. You have to know when enough is enough. Balance is very important in everything. Balance is key. If you ever look at a cat, it always lands on its feet. A cat lands on its feet all the time because it has a great sense of balance. And if it didn't have this sense of balance, it would not be able to land on its feet every single fucking time. So, achieving balance in something takes two things: a little bit of knowledge, a little bit of intelligence, lots of thinking, being in tune with your body, and not listening to every wanker that wants to fucking sell you shit. For example, like they say, oh, you need more test, and then they sell you Nolvadex and Arimidex and everything else in order to counterbalance the contraindications of taking too much test. But people tend now, and I have this experience myself because, as I say, I have empirical knowledge. If you don't overcome your insecurities, people have a tendency to overcompensate for them. So if you, as I say, I was all belly and arse and small. So this was caused a lot of insecurities, which I said, right, let's fucking address this. And I set about addressing it, and I did address it to a point. But yet the insecurities don't go away because different insecurities are take its place. Like, for example, I had a job offer in Dubai one time. They said, come on, fit lifts in Dubai, come on, fit lifts in Dubai. And I said, no, sure. So where would I get the steroids? And then in order to really shove it up my arse, I turned that down. And then really to shove it up my arse, they opened up one of the best bodybuilding gyms in the world, the Oxygen Gym in Kuwait. Just to say that's how it is and how you think it is, you know what I mean? But I just said, that's cool, you know. Do what you like. Yeah. So for me, one shot of test is enough. Because if one shot of test enables me to train in the gym like a demon, it allows me to do everything else like it with the same vigor. Do you understand me? And you don't get this idea because you see a lot of people, they tend to take more tests in order not only to compensate for their insecurities, but to compensate for a bad diet and poor work ethic. As I say, I take my one shot test and it enables me to train like a demon in the gym. But as I say, what they need to look at is their work ethic, their diet, and everything else, because you have to find balance. But they don't have the intelligence to stand back from their lives and find balance. They overcompensate with the little bit of knowledge that they get, the little small bit of knowledge that they get. They think they're fucking professional bodybuilders or whatever, you know, going around then telling everybody, you need more test, or you need more test. And the same with the supplements. The same with the supplements. Now, before I go any further on this, when it comes to taking this, then you get all the fucking know-alls with all the fucking studies and everything. Oh, there's studies. The half-life of test is 3 days, so you need to take it twice a week, and you listen to the half-life and the studies, and I read the studies, and I did this again is more ignorance. Because these people who are writing these studies have never lifted a weight in their life, they've never stood on a stage, they've never done bodybuilding, they don't know bodybuilding. Even if they call themselves doctors, I went to several doctors to talk about steroids, and they didn't know jack shit about steroids. Not jack shit. And pharmacists the same. That's why I see that clown, Lane Norton, attacking Eddie Yabu on food, attacking Eddie Yabu on food. Eddie Yabu was a brilliant bodybuilder and an even better trainer. He was a fantastic trainer. And Eddie Yabu knows his shit because he has empirical knowledge. Lane Norton was neither a good bodybuilder, now he's doing powerlifting now, he's no good at that either. But yet he has all these studies. But there's no great evidence of his studies producing any great results for him anyway, whatever about anybody else. But yes, so where was it? Yes. Now, so that's the test. Now, when you talk about cycling test, I don't cycle a test. Why would I want to yo-yo up and down or yo-yo up and down? Because the yo-yoing up and down comes from all these guys with the studies and all these fucking idiots who again overcompensate for their bad diet, their poor work ethic, and their insecurities. But as I say, there are some great bodybuilders, and you have to be able to discern who should I listen to, who should I not listen to. For example, Dorian Yates is quite an intelligent bodybuilder. Dorian Yates took about 400 or 500 mil at his peak, and then coming up to a show, in the run up to a show, he'd throw in some test and brain bowling, and he'd run about 700 mil a week. About 700 mil a week, and now that was a max coming up to a show. Lee Priest the same. That they have a little bit of intelligence. Now, there are other bodybuilders then who far exceeded this, and then they went on to tell everybody how it is, and were perfectly open about their cycle use and everything else, and misled everybody because they're not that intelligent. These men are not that intelligent, and then they go out there and mislead everybody with I'm a stupid cunt, you should be a stupid cunt too. But we won't speak ill of the dead. I won't mention it because we won't speak ill of the dead, and they are dead. Yeah, most of the people I have in mind are dead, yeah. Yeah, so I take one a week now. It is a half cycle of about 3 days, but then that's itself, you only take one a week. For example, I take one on a Monday morning, and then I get the heavy compounds out of the way. That's why I say what I want to focus on most I focus on a Monday. What I want to focus on second, I do on a Tuesday, and so on in priority. Like I don't need to do legs on a Monday because my legs grow easy enough, my ass grows easy enough. I don't need to be doing them on a Monday or a Tuesday. But you can maybe understand what I'm trying to say. But if you want to know more, you may come to my group and you can ask me any questions you want from the group. And then we're still on the subject of test levels. What lads then go out, they say, oh, need more, and then the supplement companies get on the bandwagon and say, oh, this increase your test levels, and protein's another one, but let's not even go there. We even have Brennan's bread writing protein on there, full of protein, good for protein, and if you told them there was protein in dog shite, they'd eat it. But again, with your diet, it's about finding balance, and I talk about this again in the group. Zinc, for example. Now, people come to say, oh, your age, you need to take zinc. You need to take zinc to increase your test levels. You can't make tests without zinc. You need lots of zinc. And I don't even argue with these fellas. As my outlet used to say, never educate a fool. Never educate a fool. And this is the truth. Never educate a fool. Zinc is necessary for the manufacture of oxytocin. Now, oxytocin, as you probably know or don't know, is the hormone. It's a bonding hormone. This is what's produced for love. It's a bonding hormone. It's released. A 20-second hug will release oxytocin. A touching someone releases oxytocin. It's a bonding hormone, and that's why I say all the time. I have one principle: don't fucking touch me, and we'll all be grand. Don't fucking touch me, and we'll all be grand. Because if you have too much test, it's too hard to think. It's hard to think. All you can think about is sex all the time. But you can, depending on your nature. But whereas you can't change your nature, you can change your values in relation to it. Everything is how you use it. You can use that libido for drive and ambition and to build something, to do something worthwhile. Not fucking going around like a dog. But then when you come to zinc, just say we're taking zinc then as well. We now have an imbalance in hormones because if the stomach is working at optimal, if you're eating a good diet, you now have too much oxytocin being manufactured. In other words, every girl that looks at you and every girl that touches you, you're falling in love. And that's what makes them dogs, running around fucking falling in love every week, trying to get their prick in everywhere. Like, this is what makes them fucking just dogs, like dogs. But this again, pure ignorance. So you want to be leaving off the zinc. I don't need zinc. I get enough zinc in my diet in order to have enough zinc and have enough test. Because if you have too much oxytocin, as I say, you have an imbalance in the hormones, and this imbalance is going to derail you. It's going to fucking derail you. So the thing is, then when you have enough test that you can train like a demon, and enough oxytocin that you can love. Now, we won't, love is an abstract concept, but just to kick it off, you have to be very, very careful. Nothing will enslave a man faster than his desires. Nothing will enslave a man faster than his desires. And what you have is, like, for example, people don't address their insecurities. What they do then is they instead of addressing their insecurities, they impose sanctions on somebody else. And this is the big problem with a patriarchal society. They impose sanctions on their partner, and they end up oppressing each other and making each other miserable. Or as I was listening to Chris Hemingworth the other day, thanking his wife for setting her goals aside and helping him achieve his. I would never, ever, ever ask any girl to do that. Never. That's a mean and selfish thing to do. Put your goals aside and we're going to focus on mine. Will I fuck? Will I fuck? That's what you want to be saying to that. Will I fuck? Now, if you don't have someone that's fucking backing you to the hilt to the same extent, it's not mutually beneficial, let that man go. Let that man go. Or even better, don't let anybody choose you. Don't choose anybody while you're in like myself, in a position of unfortunate circumstances. Well, I'm not in unfortunate circumstances, but just say from a certain perspective, I might be. Don't choose anybody, and you most certainly don't let them choose you. This is natural selection. You first must make the most of yourself, and then you can choose. Then choose. This is natural selection. And that's what's gone all wrong. This, through their insecurities and fears and everything, oh, I'm going to be alone, oh, I'm going to be alone. And then clinging to these relationships. But what happens then is they say, oh, put your goals aside, we'll focus on mine. And then they do fuck all either. They do fuck all because they don't have the balls. They do fuck all. And then it just comes to a point where they just talk about what they were going to do. Listen, I'm going to get off this. Bye.